Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a quaint little village nestled between rolling green hills. In this village, a small, somber workhouse stood at the edge of town. The workhouse was known for its stern caretakers and cold, bare walls. It was here that a little boy named Oliver Twist was born on a chilly, rainy night. Oliver's mother, a kind and gentle woman, arrived at the workhouse in labor. She had come to town looking for help, but the workhouse, with its rigid rules and lack of warmth, was not a place of comfort. Oliver was born amidst the clamor of the workhouse, and his mother, exhausted and weakened, passed away shortly after giving birth. Oliver, a tiny, fragile infant, was left to grow up in the harsh world of the workhouse. As Oliver grew, he was treated with indifference and neglect. His clothes were ragged, and his meals were sparse. Despite the bleak conditions, Oliver had a kind heart and a twinkle of hope in his bright eyes. He often dreamed of a life beyond the cold walls of the workhouse, where kindness and warmth were abundant. At the age of 9, Oliver was sent to work for a local tradesman, Mr. Sowerberry, as an apprentice. The work was hard and the treatment harsh. Oliver felt trapped in a life of drudgery and cruelty. One day, after being mistreated once too often, Oliver made a brave decision. He packed a small bag and set off for London, hoping to find a better life. The journey to London was long and tiring, but Oliver's spirit remained unbroken. He walked through bustling streets, filled with noise and excitement. However, London was not as welcoming as he had hoped. Oliver was soon lost and alone in the sprawling city. One day, while wandering the crowded streets, Oliver encountered a lively young boy named Artful Dodger. The Dodger had a mischievous glint in his eye and a quick smile. He introduced himself and took Oliver to meet Fagin, a cunning old man who led a gang of young pickpockets. Fagin's den was a dimly lit room filled with curious trinkets and an assortment of peculiar items. The walls were lined with strange objects, and the air was thick with the smell of old, unwashed clothes. Oliver felt uneasy but was intrigued by the new world he had stumbled into. Fagin welcomed Oliver with open arms and offered him a place to stay. The other children in the gang seemed friendly, and Oliver hoped that perhaps he had finally found a place where he belonged. However, he soon learned that the life of a pickpocket was not as glamorous as it appeared. Oliver was introduced to the art of pickpocketing by the Dodger. Although he was taught how to lift wallets and watches, Oliver never felt comfortable with the idea of stealing. His heart ached with each stolen item, and he wished for a different path. One day, during a pickpocketing operation, Oliver was mistakenly accused of theft. He was arrested and taken to court, where he stood trembling, unsure of what would happen. Fortunately, the real thief was caught, and Oliver was released. However, his association with Fagin's gang had already tarnished his reputation. As Oliver walked the streets, feeling lost and hopeless, he was discovered by Mr. Brownlow, a kind and wealthy gentleman. Mr. Brownlow saw the sadness in Oliver's eyes and took him in. He provided Oliver with a warm bed, nourishing food, and the kindness he had longed for. At Mr. Brownlow's home, Oliver began to feel safe and cared for. He enjoyed the cozy fireplace, the delicious meals, and the gentle company of Mr. Brownlow and his household. For the first time in his life, Oliver felt as though he had found a place where he truly belonged. Despite the comfort Oliver found with Mr. Brownlow, danger was never far behind. Fagin, along with the fearsome Bill Sikes and his partner Nancy, were determined to get Oliver back. Sikes, a menacing and violent man, had a sinister plan to reclaim Oliver and drag him back into the criminal world. Nancy, who was part of Fagin's gang, had grown fond of Oliver. She saw the potential for good in him and wanted to help him escape from Sikes' grasp. Nancy secretly informed Mr. Brownlow of the danger, hoping to protect Oliver. However, Sikes discovered Nancy's betrayal and, in a fit of rage, murdered her. As the danger grew, Mr. Brownlow, Oliver, and their friends made a daring plan to keep Oliver safe. They worked together to outwit Sikes and Fagin, using clever strategies to protect Oliver and ensure his safety. In a dramatic confrontation, Sikes was eventually captured and brought to justice. Fagin was also apprehended, and his gang was disbanded. The dark cloud that had hovered over Oliver's life was finally lifted. With the danger gone, Oliver's true heritage was revealed. It turned out that Oliver was the grandson of Mr. Brownlow's dear friend, and he was entitled to a portion of his family's wealth. Oliver's past was unraveled, and he learned that he had come from a family of kindness and love. Oliver's life transformed completely. He found not only safety but also a loving family and a future filled with promise. The warmth and joy he experienced in Mr. Brownlow's home became the new reality for him. He embraced his new life with gratitude and happiness. And so, Oliver Twist's journey from hardship to happiness came full circle. He had overcome the trials and tribulations of his early life, finding a place where he was cherished and loved. As he settled into his new life, Oliver knew that his dreams had finally come true.